All right, hello everyone. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to keep it cute and keep it short, okay? Today's episode is going to talk about humility. It's going to be a very, very interesting episode. I want you to stay to the end. Please do, because we have a lot of things to say. We are not together right now, me and Malik. We haven't been together for the past 8 episodes, but this time it's different. We are not talking to each other live. We are talking about the same topic at 2 different times. So he has the first half hour or so, and I have the second half hour or so, and we're both talking about the same topic. And today that topic is humility. I think we have a lot of good things to say. I think it's going to be a very interesting episode. So stick around, listen to what both of us have to say about it. I think I only watched a little bit of his before, or as I've been editing. I actually filmed my part after or before I watched his, so I haven't seen very much of his at all. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this format and this setup. But let's get into Malik's portion of humility. Some of you guys need to get it immediately.
Hello, everyone. I had to say Darius's line because he's not here. Now, this is really scary. I've never done anything like this before. We're doing a solo podcast. It looks like I'm in a penitentiary. I'm in a dungeon. And if you think that it looks like that, you're right. I am in those things. Also, I'm using like, we have a little stand for the thing. We're moving on up in the world. And I feel like I'm giving 103.7 Kiss FM. You guys know what that is? I don't know. I like radio stations local. But either way, welcome back to the Jokes on Us podcast. Okay. Let me address the elephant in the room. Obviously Darius isn't here. I'm not with Darius. I don't know what to do. It's just really our schedules. We're just a little busy. So we decided that we're going to do something new. We're going to try something fun. We're going to try something new. We're going to do something new. And we're going to do like a little bit of a solo podcast episode, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have the theme. Also, I hope you guys can hear me because I don't know, because I feel like I usually talk a little lower. And I feel like me not holding the mic right up to my mouth is maybe going to sound something, but I'm just so sorry. The way this looks is really, you guys are going to have to deal with it. If you can't hear me, you're going to have to deal with it. Oh my God. Can I say, oh my God, I'm lost without Darius. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle myself. Wow. And this is going to get demonetized. But anyways, so like I said, we're going to try something a little new. So what we're going to do is me and Darius are going to both talk about the same theme, okay, of something, but we don't know what we're necessarily going to say about that theme. We don't know what we're going to have to say. We don't know what we're going to do. We're not going to know. Well, he's going to know before I know, because he's probably going to be watching my video before I watch his video. But we're not going to know at the same time what we're talking about, okay? And today's theme is, nobody pray for me. They're going to pray for me. Hey, yeah. Sit down, be humble, be quiet, okay? We're talking about humility today, okay? And I think that humility is something that a lot of us need in this world. I think that in the coming of ages, I think that what I've noticed is I think that we let the egos get the best of us sometimes. I really do. And I think that if we want to talk about it, if we want to get a little bit political, if we want to get a little bit spooky ooky, also I'm going to be looking at myself probably the whole time. And I'm noticing that already. Sorry. If we want to get a little bit political, I think that not being humble and not having that humility is part of the reason why we are where we are right now, at least in the country of the United States, you guys. I feel like the fact that a lot of people don't really want to admit that they're wrong, or that they might not have had all the necessary information available to them, or that they were like, I don't know, they don't want to really be humble. So we double down, and yeah, and that's why we have a guy yelling at Zelensky in the office. Who said that? Not me. But anyways, moving on from the politics. I just think that I'm going to take the time to talk about humility. And I think that what I'm going to do to showcase my humility is I'm going to share a couple of times that I was in the wrong, okay? Or maybe a couple of times that I did wrong. A couple of times that things were a little crazy. And yeah, so before we're going to get into that, I feel like I should do I feel like we should do like a little bit of a pop culture topic. I saw Lady Gaga, Okay, she said that we're getting a Telephone Part 2 with Beyonce. And I know you guys know Telephone. I hope you do. If you've never heard Telephone, please go listen to it right now, because that that's a top 10 bop of the century. A Lady Gaga Beyonce collab was actually crazy, and they actually ate that. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I don't know if you guys are ready to hear it. I don't know if a lot of you guys are going to like it. I think that when this comes, I don't know when it's going to come. In my head, I feel like it's going to be giving I feel like it's going to be giving, I don't know. In my head, I would love for this to be on like Act 3 of Beyonce's album, because I think Telephone was Lady Gaga's song. But I don't know when this is going to come. Maybe this is just in the talks. Do you guys think Beyonce's like, why are you talking about our shit, girl? Please don't do that. I don't mess with any of those spoilers or any of things like that. But I think that when that song comes out, whatever the part 2 is, whatever they're trying to give, I don't think that the people are going to like it. I don't think that the people are going to like it. I think that I'll like it. I'm sure I'll like it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm sure I'll like it. But I think that the way that people are is like very like heavy like nostalgia. Like I feel like people like really love nostalgia, and I feel like they can't ever get over anything old, and they're gonna be like, this isn't the same. And I'm low-key the same way. But I don't know. I feel like they aren't gonna be messing with it, and I don't know, but I just don't know if they can recreate. She said, you've been a very, very bad girl, Gaga. And she's eating that honey bun. They actually ate that up. But I hope they do recreate it, because I'm very excited for that. I think that'll be interesting. Also, just one, I don't know, I was just thinking about this, but like, for example, the new Shrek is coming out. Everybody's mad about the animation. I think it does look like Shrek got rhinoplasty, maybe an Adam's apple surgery. It does look like he was up to some things, but I don't really mind. Like, who really cares? Also, Zendaya's gonna be in the movie. I love my girl Zendaya down. She's gonna play his daughter, because he had like a daughter and 2 sons, but the people are saying that Zendaya's ogre is trans. They're doing a transvestigation on Zendaya's character, because I guess in like the 3rd movies where the babies were, I guess like the girl had like brown eyes and the boys had blue eyes, but now her character has blue eyes. So what was that? What's going on? Who's giving trans operations to ogres in Far, Far Away? We need to know. But yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comments. Do you think that Zendaya's ogre's trans? Do you think that you're gonna love Telephone? Also, oh my god, like, wouldn't it be so fun if we did like, I actually think this would be really complicated, but what if we did like a podcast? And this is me talking to Darius now and you guys, and he's gonna be going, what was that? And I need him to respond to his episode. But like, imagine if we did like a podcast, but like it was one of us and we were talking, but then you guys had to send in like a clip of you responding, and the best person who gave the best clips, you get to be in a segment. That'd be fun. He actually hates interacting with you guys. I said that we could do a little dating show, and he said he doesn't want to date any of you guys. I don't think I want to date any of you guys too either. Maybe I would. I don't know. Maybe I would. Who knows? Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Okay, now we're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting into the melody. I'm going to first start off with something a little small. This is going to be a revelation. This is going to be a revelation that Darius never knew about. Okay? This is hot off the presses. So when me and Darius moved into our apartment in Chicago, right? They gave us a little bit of a gift bag. Okay? The gift bag came with like cozies. I think it came with like a lanyard, like something else, like a postcard or something, and then it also came with a bottle of wine, right? And then like I think right when we moved in, he was like, "Oh, let's drink the wine, and I was like, "No, let's not." And I did a lot. Okay, this is me, guys. I'm being humble, please. I was like, "No, let's not," because like let's save the wine for a little special time. Like let's save it. Like when we're celebrating something. Come to find out, we actually had nothing to celebrate the whole time that we were there. So, but there was one time where I was like, I really want a little bit of a drink. And I was looking for something, and I found the wine. It started with the wine. And I found the wine, and I did drink it. I did drink the whole I drank the whole bottle. I drank the whole bottle. One thing turned into another. I drank the whole bottle. And then I said, oh my God. I can't believe I did that. The next day I went out, bought more of the wine. Like I bought more of the wine and replaced it. And that's not actually even the end of the story. It's not. I proceeded to do that multiple times, actually. Like sometimes I'd have somebody over and they'd be like, oh, we need some drink. And I'd be like, oh, well, we have this wine. I just got to buy some more after. But every time I replaced it, but then every time I would drink it, oh my God, I can't believe I'm confessing this. And Darius is going, what was that? And then at one point in time, I think when he like moved out, I just did drink it. I never bought it again. And I don't think he ever noticed. I don't think he remembered that. And he's going to remember it now. And I'm going to be in trouble. And you guys see what I'm sacrificing. For the pod. I'm telling my secrets. I'm telling my stories. But I admit, I didn't think I was wrong. I just wanted a little bit of a drinkity winkety. But I probably bought that wine. I probably drank and re-bought that wine like 6 times. I probably drank and rebought that wine at least 6 times. Okay. And see, I shared something. I was able to admit a time that I was maybe a little wrong. A time that I was maybe a little in the wrong. Okay. And I hope that you guys, I invite you to do the same. Okay. I'm going to take this time. I invite you to do the same. Send us an email about a time that you were in the wrong. Usually we say, was it on the fence? You know? And maybe it was on the fence that time. But I want you guys to send us a time where you actually did do a lot. Like, you did a lot definitively. Share in this experience with me and be vulnerable, be humble, put the ego aside. Okay. I think another thing with humility too is like, I feel like you can also, it kind of coincides with like humbleness, but also like humiliation. Is that the same thing? I don't know. There's been a lot of times that I've been embarrassed, you guys, in my life. I have. If I sat here and told you every single time I'd be embarrassed, we'd be on a live stream. We beat the world record. Okay, for longest goddamn podcast to ever exist. I'd be here until I was 32. Also, speaking of, oh my God, you guys, it was my birthday. When was it? It was my birthday 2 days ago. My birthday was March 10th. I'm 24. I see gray hairs sprouting already. That's why I have to wear this hat, because I'm already getting gray hairs. I'm a little scared. The age is getting a little too serious. And I know you guys are going to say, oh my God, 24 is so young. 24 is nothing. Oh my God. Actually, what if you guys said, damn, you are getting old. But I don't think I'm actually getting old. But I think this is like, it's a series where I know that I'm not a kid anymore. I'm very aware of it. I'm very aware I'm not a kid. Like, maybe like when you're 18, 19, you're still kind of like, like, I'm a little baby. I'm not a little baby. I'm getting annoyed now at shit that I'm getting annoyed now at shit that I used to be. I'm like, why are these damn kids running around this store? Where are your parents? I was walking down the street the other day. There was this little kid just blowing bubbles at people. That pissed me off. I'm like, where are your parents? Why are you just blowing bubbles at people? Somebody come get this little boy. And I'm going, oh my God, am I turning? I'll be in the movie theaters. There'll be a kid laughing and crying, and they'll just be experiencing genuine joy. And I'm a little angry. Is that what being an adult is? Oh my God, you guys. Oh, okay. Wow. Moving on. So, this is a time that was very embarrassing. Very. No, it was very, very embarrassing. And I'm going to tell you the time that I took my first edible ever. Okay. So lock in. Lock in, because there's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of things that are going to be a little confusing. Please lock in. And I'm going to tell the story first from how I was perceiving it at the time. Okay. I'm going to tell the story from how I was perceiving it at the time. And then I will, at the end, tell you what actually happened. Okay. So this was back in, I think I was a senior in high school. Yes, I believe that I was a senior in high school, and I had been like, I think at this time Darius had just moved, so he wasn't around. He was in Ohio, and he had left Milwaukee where we were before, and I had always wanted to take an edible. I always wanted to take an edible. I just always thought they were like really iconic at the time. I don't know. And mind you, I don't even know what I was thinking. Honestly, I don't even know what I was thinking because it's not even like I was smoking at that age at all. Like, I was not like weed. Like, sometimes I'll think of like when I got to college, like college was really the first time that like I started doing things. Like, I started like drinking. I started smoking, like socially. I mean, in high school, I feel like people were sneaking their mom's bottles. I was not doing that, and there were bottles to sneak, but I was not doing any of that. And I never know. I don't know why. Actually, I could have, but I was just such a good kid, you guys. That's probably why. So, and I don't know why I wanted to bypass like smoking a joint. Can I say that? Oh my god, I don't know, you guys. Darius, please tell me. I was like, I don't know why I decided to bypass smoking a little a J, smoking a little reefer. And I wanted to go to an edible. I don't know, but I just felt like I don't know what I was thinking. But I'd always expressed this to my friends. My friends all knew this about me. So my one friend, do I say his name? I don't know. You guys, I have PTSD. I have PTSD. Um, about saying people's names now because everybody's gonna know. You guys know what happened. We're just gonna call him. I need a name that I'm gonna remember. We're gonna say John. Okay. Um. So John was like, "Hey Malik, this guy that I work with, he sells edibles. Let's take some." So then we were like, "Okay, this is iconic. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it." And what we were planning to do. We had a friend named Janine. John and Janine. John and Janine. John and Janine. You guys are gonna catch me saying their real names in a second. Um, and we were like, let's do it at Janine's house, right? And then we also had another friend named Allison, okay? And so me, John, Janine, and Allison, we were all planning to go to Janine's house, take our edibles, lock in, see what's happening. None of them had taken edibles either, right? And we were planning on doing this on like Friday night, after school. So Friday comes, me and John go and pick up the edibles from the guy, and we go to Janine's place, right? Allison is still at work, okay? We were supposed to pick up Allison after work, and then she'd be able to take them with us. And I don't know why. I don't know why we were thinking that we'd be able to do any of that, but I don't know. Keep that in mind for foreshadowing. But we went we went to Janine's house and we were like, you know what, let's just take our thing now. And it was brownies, right? These are homemade brownies in a little bit of Ziploc, a hefty Ziploc bag. And we just both just ate a brownie like it was we both ate a brownie like it was from Wingstop. I don't know what we were thinking. Once again, we ate the whole entire brownie. Um we did eat the whole entire brownie. And I actually, okay, so you know how Darius is usually supposed to be on like one of these sides or whatever, right? And now it's just one. Okay, so it went from 2 to 1. That's what my brain cells did. They actually all mushed together. In this at the speed of light. Actually, it wasn't at the speed of light. It came all at once. It was extremely scary. And all of a sudden, I remember me, John, and Janine were sitting on the bed and we were watching American Horror Story Coven to be exact. And Angela Bassett, who did the thing, she was doing the thing actually. And that's when I started to get concepts of high. That's when I started to get concepts of a little high because I was going, I was going, wait, where's her Emmy? I said, where's her Emmy, mama? Hold on. Cause she was actually eating and we were going, wow. I just remember Janine going, wow, this is so good. She is so good in this role. And I was going, oh my God, are we high, you guys? And then we're like, maybe, I don't know. We definitely were. But it definitely had not hit its peak. So then we're just sitting there And then we're doing that. And then I remember like somebody pointed out something and we actually started laughing. And that's the hardest I'd ever laughed in my life at that point so far. Everything was hilarious. Everything was funny. Everything was wham. Everything was iconic. It was. And then I blinked. I blinked. And I don't know how much time had passed, but John was gone. It was me and Janine. And who were just like, we were just laying on the bed. John was gone. I jump up. I'm going, what was that? What was that? Where was John? What's going on, Janine? What's happening? Janine's going, what the hell are you talking about? Janine's going, what the hell are you talking about? Just sit down, lay down. You're fine. That shit started to scare the hell out of me. Because I'm going, what do you mean, what am I talking about? And she's going, I don't know. And I said, I gotta go. I said, I gotta go. And I kid you not, you guys, when I say, I put an oath on my iPad that nothing that I am going to say for this next amount of time is a lie. Everything that I'm telling you right now is what I experienced. This is my testimony, okay? This is what I saw. This is what I experienced. This is what happened. I go downstairs, okay? There's a melody playing. And it's going like, there's a melody playing downstairs. And I walk outside of their door to leave. I'm back in Janine's room. I'm back in Janine's room. In the bed, going, what was that? And then that's when my heart starts to boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. My heart starts beating. Because I'm going, what is going on? And now I'm actually really scared, you guys. And I'm like, okay, let's try this again. I go downstairs. I'm hearing the melody again, okay? I'm hearing the melody. I walk out the door. I'm back in Janine's room. Okay? At this point, you couldn't tell me anything. I was very thoroughly convinced that I was going to die. Like I was convinced that like I was about to pass on. This was my brain. Like I was already probably passing on. This is my brain. Like I was like, this is what happens when you die. This is my brain. This is your brain on drugs, kids. I was like, this is what's like my brain coping with the fact that I'm dying. And I'm trying to like leave on some supernatural shit. And my body is tethered. My body's tethered to Janine's bed. So then I start freaking out and I'm like, I have to get out of here. Like, this is the, like, I don't, if I am, like, I'm actually going through the 7 stages of grief, okay? And I'm like, first I'm freaking out and I'm going, oh my God, this is so much. I think I probably try to leave again and I end up back in Janine's room. And then, like, I was there and Janine's just still on the bed and it's like, I don't know. She's just there. And this is so scary. I actually can't believe I ever smoked again after this. You would think that would have scared me straight. It didn't. It didn't. I still did more. I still did more after that. Spoiler alert, I lived. But I remember this very specifically where like, as like I was trying to get out of the bed again. And when I got out of the bed, I like jumped down because her bed was a little tall. And then like me jumping down, the force of me jumping down, like felt like very like I felt normal for just a second. And I remember going, wait, I have to do that again. So my big ass starts jumping in Janine's room, trying to bring myself back to life. Oh my God. I actually don't even know why anybody would ever do anything with me again. Because if somebody else was doing this, I'm never smoking with them again. I'm never getting high with them again. You can't drink around me. You can't vape around me. You don't even bring an inhaler around me if you act like this. I was probably, but hey, humility. Am I right, you guys? You see the theme? I start jumping. The crowd is jumping. I'm jumping. And Janine's going, stop. Janine's going, stop. What are you doing? Stop. You're going to, my parents. She's going, stop. And I'm going, I'm so sorry, Janine. And then I was going, like, her yelling also was doing something to me too. And I was going, I'm starting to feel normal, like, every single step. And I'm so, you guys, this is so crazy. I'm sorry. I expect some embarrassing emails. I'm being serious, or I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. You guys are pissing me off. I'm going to be pissed if I don't get an embarrassing email after I'm telling you this story. But I was young, okay? I was young. Please, calm down. I start jumping. She's screaming. I'm starting to go, okay, this is it. Like, maybe I'm cracking the code because I'm feeling a little bit more normal. So maybe, like, I need her to, like, yell a little bit at me, like, to shock my senses up, okay? So I kind of, like, stumbled a little bit, and, like, my hand, like, kind of, like, went onto her blinds, and it kind of, like, moved them a little bit. And she was like, stop my blinds. I noticed that got a reaction out of her. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm feeling, it's just humility, you guys. I'm feeling it. This is so embarrassing. I'm telling this to the world. And then I decide, okay, I'm going to rip her blinds. Because she's going to yell at me. That's going to get a reaction out of me. I'm thinking, like, I'm going, yes, this makes a lot of sense. I'm going to rip her blinds. I start ripping her blinds. She's going, what the fuck are you doing? She's going, what the hell are you doing? She's literally telling me to be quiet, sit down. And she's going, I can't. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm leaving now. I'm thinking that, okay, I finally cracked the code. Let me leave. Right? So then I leave, and I'm outside for the longest that I've ever been outside. And I'm there, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm out there, and then, like, it's almost like I'm tethered to the driveway now. And I'm going, wait, I made a little progress, but I'm like, I'm tethered to the driveway. And then I feel like I kept on hearing, this was played on a loop, and I'm telling you guys, I'm not lying, where Janine would come outside and be like, Malik, come in. Come on, come in. What are you doing? Come in. And then I'd be like, no, because now I don't trust her. I don't trust her. She's not real to me. She's not real. She's a demon. I rebuke it. She's coming to take me away. I'm not doing that. I'm not going back in that house. You crazy? I'm not going back in that house. She's like, come on. Like, and then it would, like, go on a loop of, like, every few minutes. It felt like she was coming out saying the same thing. And then she would close the door. And then the loop would play. She would come out and say the same thing. Somehow. And then I was still hearing, I was still hearing that melody. So I'm going crazy. At this point, I'm just like, honestly, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. I've lived a good 17 years of life. I'm ready. I'm done. I've done what I needed to do. I did the damn thing. Let's wrap it up, okay? Like, now at this point, let's just skip it. Like, I'm done fighting for my life. I've given up at this point. So in my head, I start to rationalize, and I start to think, what has been the constant thing that's happened this whole time, right? And it was the music. It was the melody, the music. So I'm like, okay, let me go. If I turn off the music, I think that will stop this. Mind you guys, please. I'm sorry. I have to keep on reminding you because I'm getting really embarrassed. I'm going to cut the video. No, we're done. Goodbye. But I keep on getting really embarrassed. Mind you guys, first time ever really getting high, actually ever. And I took an entire brownie that was homemade, which is really crazy. I'm ruining Janine's I'm ruining Janine's high. I'm ruining Janine's high. My high was already ruined by I don't know what. Oh yeah, and also at the time I hadn't eaten anything either. Because I had I don't know. I just hadn't eaten. I don't think I had lunch money that day or something like that. So I hadn't eaten all day because I was planning, because I wanted to also have like the munchies and be like cool and have the munchies and we'd be able to order something and I'd be able to eat and have a good time. But I didn't. And that probably is what almost made my grave, is the fact that I hadn't eaten anything. And I'd only had been taking like ibuprofen because I had this like in-hand injury at the time. So in my stomach was just a full weed brownie and about 4 ibuprofen. And that's why. So back to the thing, I'm going to end this once and for all right here. I'm taking my final stand and I go, okay, I need to shut off this music. So I go back into the house. Oh, Debbie, Debbie. I go back in the house. I'm looking for the melody. I find it. It's on her kitchen island, right? She had a little kitchen island, you know, the little table things. And I launched myself. Oh, you guys. I'm cringing. You guys, I'm cringing. I can't. Oh my God. This is so embarrassing. I'm done. I can't. I crawl onto the kitchen island. I crawl onto the kitchen island. I do. Trying to stop the melody. And then all of a sudden, Janine is in front of me again. And she's going, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then they're going, we need to call this man's parents. And I'm going, no, call the cops then if you want to. I'm doing a lot, you guys. I'm doing the most that I ever could have done. And I'm going, no, like, whatever. And this is so embarrassing too. This is so embarrassing. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that. You aren't going to get my parents' number. You aren't going to get this. You aren't going to get that. No. I don't trust you. I'm trying to turn. Why are you trying to make me stop trying to turn on the music? Huh? I knew it. I see what you're up to. You don't want me to stop the music because it stops your whole little situation. It stops your whole little business you've got going on here. You're messing with my mind. You're not going to get my mom's phone number. You're not going to get my dad's phone number. And I should have given them the phone number. I should have. Because then, after that, I go, let me get out of here. I try to leave once more. I'm sitting in the grass. In her lawn. This is so crazy and embarrassing. I'm sitting in the grass in the lawn. And I'm sure that your guys' jaws have been on the floor this whole time that I've been talking about this, and they just are going to still be on the floor. All of a sudden, I start to feel senses on my body. And I start to feel wet. I start to hear something that I was not hearing before. And then I start to feel something in my mouth. It was in my mouth. I started to feel something in my mouth. And the something is hands in my mouth. And the wetness is rain. The noise is rain. I'm outside in the rain. When I tell you, I did not feel any rain or anything. I was just like, all the times that I went out, it was pouring. It was a storm. Okay? The hands that are in my mouth are making me throw up. The hands that are in my mouth belong to a paramedic. The hands that are in my mouth belong to a paramedic. I look to my left. I see an ambulance in the driveway. You guys. I'm so embarrassed. And I'm in there. I'm in the ambulance. No, I am. In there. And they're going, what was that? Everybody's going, what was that? My dad, who's there now, is going, what was that? Janine's dad is going, what was that? The paramedics are going, what was that? everybody involved is going, what was that? Right? And then I wake up in bed and I go, and at first I don't really remember that any of this happened. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm kind of just like, oh, and then I get up and I see my like sweatshirt that I was wearing is hanging up and sopping wet. And I see that my shoes aren't, I see that my normal shoes I usually wear aren't where they normally are, because mind you guys, I wasn't wearing shoes. And I go, what was that? I don't have any text. I don't have any, like, I feel like when something like that happens, you expect the whole school to know, everybody to know by the next day, like this is an episode of Pretty Little Liars. It's not. You're just sitting with immense shame, immense embarrassment. And you're just going, what was that? And that is what I was doing. My parents were actually pissed, as they should have been. Janine was going with the actual fuck, because her dad was going with the actual fuck. And I guess I'll tell you guys what actually happened now. So what really happened was, I guess what happened was we took the edible, we started to get really high. John's dad or mom, one of them was like, you need to come home right now. Where are you? You need to come home right now. So then John was going, oh, I need to go. And then I guess I was telling John, no, like you can't go. We're definitely too high. Like you can't drive home. So apparently I was really being responsible, you guys, honestly. And this, I think, was the catalyst of what started me to freak out, is because he left. And I knew that if I was that high, and I knew that he was definitely high too, and I knew that Janine was high, I just don't think that we could have drive. So I was going, no, like please don't. And I guess I followed John outside to his car and was like, no, don't. Honestly, in hindsight, I should have let John give me a ride home too. I should have been in my own bed. Cause that wasn't crazy. But I guess he's like, no, I gotta go. He did drive home. He said that when he woke up, his car was parked. He said that when he woke up, his car was parked at an obtuse angle. He said his car was parked diagonally. And it was actually parked the craziest way ever, on a street nearby. So maybe he shouldn't have been driving, but that's what happened. And then I guess I went back upstairs to Janine's room, and then where me and Janine were just like, let's just go to sleep. And then according to Janine, I woke up, I just started jumping. I woke up and just started jumping and ripping her blinds. And she was going, what? No. She said I woke up, said that I was going to go home. And then she was like, okay. Then I came back upstairs, went back in the bed, got back up, started jumping and ripping her blinds. And she was going, what was that? And then she said I left. And then she said her cousin, came upstairs and said, what is going on? And why is there a man? And why is there a man on our kitchen island grabbing at my MacBook? So apparently, was Janine's cousin. And apparently she was sitting there the entire time. And she was playing her music from her MacBook. Okay? And then all of a sudden, I got on the kitchen island, started trying to grab at her MacBook and turn it off. Yeah, that is what happened. And then Janine came down and was going, what was that? And was going, oh, okay. Sorry, I was seeing if the mic was still on. Was going, oh, okay. He needs to go home. And they were like, so now Janine's family's involved. And they're like, yeah, like we took the edible, we did this. And they're like, oh, we need to call his parents. And then I was going, no. I was going, no, you're not going to do that. And I was saying, no, like, I'm about to die. Just call the ambulance. I'm begging them. So they're going, what was that? They call an ambulance. The ambulance calls my parents. Ambulance makes me puke, makes me throw up, which I guess I should have did myself. I don't know. I wasn't thinking of that. And that's what happened. And this all was about less than an hour. Yeah, it was less than an hour. To me, it felt like I had lived a lifetime. I gained wisdom I gained experience. I grew as a person and as a soul. This felt like I was in that for at least, I'll say at least 18 hours. That's what that experience felt like for me. But it was actually under an hour. So yeah, I actually did just share my most embarrassing moment with everybody here. Don't judge me. We listen, but we don't judge. So please, everybody, be calm, sit down. We listen, but we don't judge. I was young. You can laugh, but you can't judge me. There's no point. It was what? Oh my God. Wow. I'm starting to feel old again, guys. You know, it was my birthday 2 days ago. That was like 7 years ago. 7 years ago is crazy. Yeah, I guess that was 7 years ago. So it's already over. Everything's already fine. So I'm just telling you this as a fun little story. And that was me exhibiting, say it with me, humility. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You see how things come together? You see how we just put that on to the curve? And this is, I don't know, and this is why I like you guys. This is why I like talking to you guys. Oh my God, this is really long. No, it's not really that long. It's definitely under an hour. But, yeah, and I really thank you guys for listening. I wonder what Darius is going to say. This is really interesting and exciting. Let us know also if you like these kind of things. I mean, mine was just mostly a story time, but let us know if you like the concept of this. Like if you like the concept of maybe having like every once in a while we do like a theme and then like me and Darius film a solo episode on it. So let us know if you like that in the comments. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say. This was fun. I think this was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed this. This was nice. I feel like I'm doing a video diary. And it was really nice. Now, lastly, I guess I need to do the housekeeping things. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, please go and leave a review on whatever podcasting app that you usually go on. What's my rec? I didn't think of a rec. What's my rec? I recommend you guys take an edible. No, I'm just kidding. I recommend you guys take time to learn who you are, to learn what your egos are, and to learn how to not let them always be present. To learn that it's okay to express when you might have done a little bit too much. Okay? To learn that it's okay to think back and grow and have these experiences and use them as teaching tools in life. Okay? That is my recommendation to you all. I will see you maybe next week. I don't know how we're going to do this. If it's going to be the same thing, we'll see. But I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Oh, the time has come for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside or turned into your own. Oh, 'cause you only say. Now, if that sounded crazy, it wasn't because of my vocal ability. It wasn't because of my vocal ability. It's because I actually sound like I'm in a cartoon, okay? I don't know if you guys remember, but last week I went to the dentist. And it's been a crazy, hectic, insane week since then. We have a lot of stories to share that have happened since our last episode. But one of those things is that I have a little bit of something on my cheek on the inside. Don't say anything to me. And it's affecting the way that I talk. I have been medicated for a week on Tylenol and ibuprofen. Don't ask, but the dentist did something sinister to my cheek. Okay? And we'll talk about that later. So if you guys hear me sounding crazy, it's because of that. Now, today's episode is humility. One day I'm going to get an editor. And I said because I'm looking at myself on the screen. One day we're going to get an editor, and subsequently I want to get editors for all my other videos to actually have like things, but I don't want any janky editing. Like I'm not trying to get nobody who does something, and I'm not trying to get nobody on Fiverr and pay them $25, per frame, and it's still coming out looking crazy. It's too much. It's too ghetto. Okay, I need something that's very regal. I need it to be very regal. I need it to be, proper, put together. I need it to be my humor. I need it to be, kind of what I would do. And so, when I say humility, I want it to be like, a little bit of some angel beams. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, today we're talking about humility. I didn't watch Malik's video, so I have no idea how he fared doing a 30-minute podcast by himself. I just let you guys know it's definitely a difficult thing to talk for 30 minutes and not have anybody respond to you. You feel a little bit insane, a little bit crazy. You sometimes get stuck because you don't know what to say next because you're like, if you're talking to somebody, they say something next, and that makes you think of something else to say, right? But when you're talking about to yourself, by yourself, it's a lot. Okay, so today we're talking about humility, and some of you guys need to get to it. Okay, first, should I say something about somebody who needs to be humble? No, I'm gonna leave that for the next episode with Malik. I'll leave it, because there's a woman, and she knows who she is. She thought she was gonna be eaten up on this episode. She thought she was gonna be eaten up on this episode because I got her together in the email. Okay, but next time you guys will hear about it. Somebody else tried me this time instead of Malik. Anyway, so we're talking about humility, and at first when, Malik was like, we should talk about humility, because he brought up this topic, I was like, I don't know if I know what that means, right? Because there's a lot of, to me, I didn't know if he meant like humility as in like humiliation or embarrassment, or humility as in like being humble. And then I looked it up. Let me actually read you guys the definition of humility, just so you know. I don't know if Malik did this. I just wanted to get, so we're on the same page of what it means. I wanted to read you what it says. So the Webster Dictionary defines humility as a freedom from pride or arrogance, the quality or state of being humble. And this is what you would, humble. My editor would come in, humble, with the period on the end, okay? Now, I don't know if I did that in the right way, if that's left to right. I don't know. I'm recording backwards. But anyways, the point is that a lot of people, especially in 2025, need to be humble. I'm very curious to see the overlap that Malik and I will have, because obviously I'm not having this conversation with him. And so I want to see how similar we are in the ways that we think. So I think that, and I've been thinking about humility and humbleness for a long time. Now, I'm going to give you guys a story because there's no one here to stop me. But there actually was a video that I put out. I actually don't know if I put this out or I didn't. There's oftentimes I'll make a video for like TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and I'll never put it out, which is a little crazy to do. I'll spend a lot of time, talking or editing or doing whatever, and I'm like, I'm not going to put this out. But there's a video a couple weeks ago where there's this guy talking about, and this is about politics, so everybody calm down, keep it cute. There's a guy talking about how the Democrats freed the slaves and blah, 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 this and that, and how the Republican people love black people so much. And they just love it, and they just love us down, and they want us to all have equal opportunity, right? And now, if you look it up, yes, the Republicans did free the slaves. Did I say that correctly? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. The Democrats did not free the slaves, and the Republicans did. But the issue is that nothing in the world is that black and white. I know we would love it to, you know how much easier the world would be if it was black and white, but it's not. Everything, come to find out, everything is gray, actually, okay? Everything is a little bit gray, and we need to have more and more conversations about specific things to come to a better understanding. But when you think everything's black and white, and you go through the world thinking that everything's black and white, you end up with all of the wrong answers all of the time. I'm just going to let you know right now, right? So the way I'm tying this into humility is that there's this guy talking about how the Republicans freed the slaves, right? And they did. But in today's day and age, the people that we would call Republicans back then would not be considered Republicans today by their ideals, right? And there's a whole history about, the Whig Party and the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and how the Republican Party stayed the same and the Whig Party became the Democratic Party, and bureaucrats and the North becoming rich and the South wanting slavery and the Emancipation Proclamation and Abraham Lincoln and all that stuff. If you do your research and you do your history, okay, and you know what you're talking about, it becomes very gray on who really wanted to free the slaves and who those people would be today. You really think the antebellum South, who still votes red and Republican, do you think that they are the people who wanted to free the slaves? That's not how it aligns, right? So when I was making that video, I was talking about how I think it's very interesting in this political climate that people don't want to be humble. And I'm guilty of this. I think this is now, and when I thought about this, again, this has been something on my mind, which is why I was so quick to be like, okay, we should do the episode on humility, because I have been thinking about this for well over a month now. It's so weird that it just like popped up in my head of like, human nature is to be correct, to be right all the time. Now, I'm not saying that every single person is like that. Of course, there's so many people who are humble. So many people who are humble, and I applaud them for it. But I think at the core of human nature and the way we have been groomed, okay, by society, being in a group of animals, because that's what we are, animals that, in every sense of the word, that are social. We have all of these different things that we strive to be. We want to be happy. We want to be funny. We want to be liked. We want to be cool. We want to be accepted. We want to be talented. We want to be, friendly. All of those things, right? And so, with those things, humility is something that doesn't make you cool. It might make. Okay, listen. Again, all right, black and white, right? Black and white, humility doesn't make you cool. Gray, humility does. Did you guys follow that? I don't know if you did. Let me say that one more time. In a black and white world, humility, you're not that cool if you're humble, right? Because it's like, okay, you're the best at everything. And you don't have to be humble because you're the best at everything, right? That's a black and white world. But in the gray world, which is the world we live in, humbleness shows other things. It shows maturity. It shows that it's not about whether or not you're right. It's about what is right, right? And so I think that people have an issue. This is such an interesting, this is such a weird podcast that we're having right now, especially this is what happens when you start talking to yourself. It's only been 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm really already thinking that this whole thing is crazy because I'm talking to myself. But especially from a Jokes on Us podcast that's titled Jokes on Us, we're having a really deep conversation about humility. But in today's day and age, we need more humility. And the reason why is because everybody wants to be right. And the reason why I say this day and age is because I'm talking about social media. I often think about the year 2025 or the year 2024 or 23, 22, 21, 20, all the times that we've had social media, and I've been able, which is basically my whole life, dang near a good majority of it, more of my life than not of my life, right? Obviously, I'm literally streaming on a platform right now and uploading this to YouTube for you to watch in 4K. It's probably 1080p, but that adds an aspect to it. So if you think about it, before the internet, which I know that some of you were having conversations with people in real life before the internet, right? And that's not really my experience. When I was young, that was happening, but then by the time I got 11 or 12, it was really the internet took off, right? And so you would have these conversations with people in person, and you really only had to care about or really think about the people that were in front of you directly, or the people you knew, right? You knew people on TV or of people on TV or in magazines or whatever, but you didn't know them personally, and you probably still don't, right? But now we have something called a parasocial relationship. So you know me, I don't know you. I might, but I most likely don't know you, and you know me, or at least you think you know me, but we like, which is really weird to think. Like, I'm not trying to be rude to be like, oh, you don't know me. Like, I meant it as like, we've never met. Like, that's so interesting. Like, isn't that crazy to think about? We've never met, and yet you're watching like our video. I keep on forgetting Malik's in this video. You're watching our video right now. I'm getting to the humility part, I promise. You're watching our video right now, and that has opened up a different dimension than, and you guys know I choose my words wisely, so if I'm going slow, speed it up on your end. We've entered a different dimension of what it is to be social. And what that means is that while I'm sure this existed before social media, people didn't want to be humble, right? Because it's, whatever. Like, you don't want to have to be wrong. You don't want to be embarrassed, because it's embarrassing to be wrong, right? In this new day and age with social media, now when you're wrong publicly. You're wrong in front of tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people. That's where you're wrong, right? And so now that same humility that people really didn't maybe care for when there was no internet, now is times 100-fold on the internet. It's because now, and not everything revolves around the internet. I understand that there's some people, we can have this conversation about just, local, like when you're not on your phone or on YouTube or on the internet or anything like that, right? This can still, a lot of things can still apply to that. But I think coming back to this day and age, I think social media plays a lot in it. So when we get to politics, right, and this is the reason why I was talking about that, the guy talking about the slavery and the Republicans and the Democrats and this and that, is because you might be proven wrong.
And by proven, it's like factually. Maybe you are factually wrong. Maybe I disagree with you and you disagree with me, right? But there is someone who's right. Whoever isn't right is going to have a hard time saying that they're not right. And I often experience this. There have been several times where I stand my ground on something, right? Or I'm having, hello? Oh, no, you like, oh, I had a little bit of a scribble on my lip. Anyways, there's been sometimes that I've been wrong, and I'm sure you guys have done this too, where you're wrong and you know you're wrong. Maybe you didn't think so in the beginning, but then you found out you were wrong. But it's like, ooh, like I'm wrong. Like I don't know, but you can't. Like maybe you're in an argument or you're in like some kind of situation where you're talking to somebody and they had the opposite opinion of you, and or an opposite thing that they said, and their thing ended up being true, and you're really hesitant to admit that, right? Most people, or what we should do rather, is just say, you know what, that was my bad. I'm wrong. You know, whoopsie doo, right? Whoop-de-doo? What is it? I don't know. Whoop-de-doo, right? I was wrong. I admit that I was wrong, and let's move on, right? That's all you have to do. And I promise you the situation would end so much faster if you were like, oh, my bad. I was wrong. But what we do instead is say, well, no. Because if you think about it this way, or no, well, where did you get that information from? Or no, but you didn't think about this variable, or blah, 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 blah. And so it's all of this extra stuff, and now you're dragging it on, knowing you're wrong. You know in your mind you're wrong, but you don't want to look like you're wrong, so you continue to say and do the same things that you were doing when you thought that you were right. But you're not. You're not right. Sit down, be humble, shout out Kendrick Lamar, for real. Sit down and be humble, because you know that you're wrong. So why not just say that? And I think that there needs to be a study on why. I'm sure there have been studies or some kind of psychological studies on why it is difficult to admit when you're wrong. But I think that, like I said, just naturally, you don't want to be in a society, or when I say society, it could be your family, your friends, whatever. In your little small group of society, you don't want to be portrayed as somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. Especially when you were confident, right? There have been times, I'm sure there's been times that you were really confident about something in an argument, right? Because also in an argument, maybe you're like all, in your feelings, right? And so some things you're saying are true, other things you think are true, and other things that like you have a hint of them being true, but they like more coincide with your narrative, so you want to say they're true. All of those things, right? And so when you do that, it convolutes the whole situation, and it doesn't work that way. We end up just being wrong and not wanting to admit that, and then you look stupid. You look dumb doing that. Like I said, I'm very guilty of this. I've done this before. I'm sure a lot of you guys have done this before as well. And I think that, again, going back to politics, let's round out the politics thing real quick, so I don't have to mention it again. Me mentioning it six more times. I know it's gonna happen. But anyways, the reason why I say that is because, and the reason why I bring up politics is because I think everyone has like a grasp of politics, right? We live in this country. If you do, 98% of you guys live in the United States, right? And if we're talking about something that we could have a debate on, we could all probably debate in some way, shape, or form politics and what we believe about politics, because it's something that affects all of us, right? It's the country that we live in. It's something that we actively do every 4 years. If you are a responsible adult, and if you're even more responsible adult, you do it every 2 years or whatever it is. I don't really even know how often you're supposed to elect people, right? But so you have an opinion about it. That's why I'm bringing this up, right? So in your mind, you're thinking, okay, they're what we call the left and the right. I want you to think about why it's, and this ties into this too. Why is it that we have two parties? Now, other democratic countries have multiple parties. We only have two. Okay, and so therefore, it's very much you're either on this side or you're on that side, and that makes humility a lot less frequent. Me thinking out loud. I'm sorry. If you like, let's say we have five. I forgot which country it is that has. Some country does it really weird, where they have 5 parties and all the parties bat it out. And then whoever gets the most votes, like the top 2 people, then they bat it out too. They have a whole competition too. And then like people like jump sides from the parties that didn't win. And it's like it's a much better system, I think, than we have with our 2-party system, right? But because we have 2 parties, you might agree with It might be 51% of your party, but you only agree with 49% of the other party. So therefore, you have to choose. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side. And then when you're having a discussion with somebody, you're typically going to be and have in your mind, right? Like watching social media. You're watching, let's just say you're Democratic, right? And you're watching only Democratic content. And then all of a sudden you are talking to somebody who's a Republican, and you start to parrot things that the Democratic content that you're watching also says. You haven't thought about whether or not you agree with it. You haven't thought about whether or not it should be that way. You haven't thought about your own opinion and how it could be different than the people that you watch and listen to. You haven't done that. You just have adopted their beliefs, right? Or the beliefs of the group. And this also goes into another psychological phenomenon called groupthink, or this all ties together, right? It's all about sociology and psychology and how humans behave and how they interact with one another, and feeling othered, or the feeling of not wanting to be othered or being in the out group, right? So when you say something that's against the group that you're a part of, you hate that. I did a TikTok on this. I did it. I already uploaded it. It was about this is a great example. This was about the Yahtzee salute that Elon Musk did, right? And why it was so difficult for people to just say, oh, I don't think you should have done that. That was wrong. I don't condone that. End of story. End of discussion. We would have been done, actually. I know people would have probably dragged it on or whatever to be like, oh, well, blah, 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 this is who you support, blah, 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 whatever, right? And that would have happened for a little while. But do you think it would have happened do you think I would be talking about it right now? No. We'd be like, oh, that was crazy that he did that. But guess what they did? The people on that side. They dug their heels into the ground and said he didn't do that. He didn't do that. And then when you would ask somebody who was a public figure who also said he didn't really do that and blah, 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 he was just saying, my heart goes out to you. When they were asked, hey, you should do it right now in front of all these people. Look at all these people. I want you to do it right now. Do exactly what he did. Oh, well, he went like my heart goes out to you. Is your hand? Why is your hand like his hand was? Because they know it was wrong. They know it was wrong. They understand it was wrong. But being right is better than being humble. And that is why we need to wrap it up. That's why we need to wrap it up. Okay? Everybody in there, come to find out, everybody in their mom needs to wrap it up. When it comes to politics and everything else, we need to realize that we would be much better off if we just came to a middle ground. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be sharing my opinions on who's right on the right and who's right on the left, and in the extreme left and the extreme right and this and that and blah, 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 because there's so many different facets that I haven't even thought about, right? So I'm not going to give my opinions on things that I haven't thought about yet, right? But I'm not joking. I know that was a piece of my beard hair. It was poking me. I said, what was that? The whole time it was poking me. Anyway, so needless to say, I want you guys to do this. Like, there's not a whole lot of people watching this video comparative to other people's channels, right? And so, therefore, with the platform that Malik and I have, I want to be having serious discussions. Whoever even has gotten to this point, some people only want the comedy and they left already, right, after Malik. But I want us, and you subsequently, to learn from everyone, whether it be somebody in the comments, just our community, this, jokes on us, right? And the one thing I want to drill home is that it's okay to be wrong. I promise you, if I could blast this out to everyone in the United States right now, do you know how much better off it would be tomorrow? If everybody got this message that it's fine, all right? You thought this yesterday. You were presented with different information that proved that you were probably wrong. It's okay to be wrong. And rethink what you have to say about that topic, that discussion, whatever, that opinion, and change it. That's okay. You don't have to think exactly like your mom does, exactly like your dad does. You don't have to think exactly like your friend does, or exactly how the group you coincide with. You don't have to think about all the friends in your school or the people at your job, or you don't have to think like every single one of them. All you need to do is come to the table being humble before you cement. No opinion should be cemented. Okay, it should be. Well, there are some opinions. There's a few opinions. I'm not going to get into which opinions they should be, but there are a few opinions that I don't think I'll budge on, right? But Most things should be like, let's have a discussion. Why do you think the way that you think? Why do I think the way that I think? And am I open to understanding why you think the way that you think? That's what it should be. And then when we're talking, because like opinions are opinions, right? Okay, opinions are opinions, and we can fight all day whether or not your opinion is right or your opinion is wrong or my opinion is right and my opinion is wrong, whatever it is, right? But there are facts in the world. There are facts, and that's the real issue that we come to is that A, people don't want to be humble, but B, people don't want to be humble in lieu of the facts about the situation. They don't want to be humble. They don't want to be when you say, okay, well, again, I'm not going to get into specifics. But if you say, okay, A, B, and C is a true fact, and we know because of this, this, and that, and you still don't want to change your opinion, what's the point? I'll wait. What is the point of saying something and believing something that you know is wrong? Like I had to be silent for a reason. Like that sounds dumb. It sounds stupid. You're wrong. And you know you're wrong. Like what? Like that is so crazy. Like you know you're wrong. So why not just be like, okay, hey, I'm wrong. And that's really the thing is like you might be wrong and you know you're wrong inside. And maybe your opinion has changed inside, but you don't ever want to say it. And I think that is what we need to talk about. We need to talk about the phenomenon of not wanting to tell other people that you're wrong. In society today, all over the world, I think a lot of people in the world could hear this, but specifically in the United States, we'd have a much better conversation about I think of any topic, and be like, hey, this is right. This is what I believe. And I'm open to change on it. I'm open for you to convince me why it should be this way or it should be that way. And really listen to people. We're not all the same people. I am a black, gay, young man who grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who now lives in Ohio, who went to a 4-year university at the University of Arizona in Arizona, who has been on social media, both like on social media and in social media, I guess you could say, for 6 to 8 years now. So my experiences in life, my perspective on things is going to be different than maybe somebody else, right? Maybe you don't have my experience at all. Think of the exact opposite of me, right? Does that mean that the experiences of the exact opposite of me are wrong or their opinions are invalid or whatever the case may be? I don't know. We have to have those discussions, right? If you're not thinking about other people, if you're not thinking about how somebody's opinion can differ from yours, we'll never get anywhere because it'll just be, I'm right, you're wrong. And guess what? The person that you think is wrong is going to say the exact same thing to you. And that's why we need to have an open discussion about humility. And I think that this was a very good topic to talk about. I obviously had a lot to say about it. I think I'll use like maybe 5 more minutes to talk about what I originally thought this video was about. I thought that in terms of humility, it was more about being humble. Oh, sorry, me saying the exact thing that I just talked about. No, I mean more about being embarrassed or being, and it kind of, I feel like it kind of coincides a little bit, right? Humility, being humble, and not always having to be perfect and not always having to have the right opinion or right things or whatever, but willing to grow and learn and not be prideful, right? On the flip side, you don't always have to be perfect. That's really what it comes down to. If you are at an ice skating rink and you and all your friends are there, it's December, your crush is around the corner, talking to somebody, and they see you fall on the ice. You're human. Yes, it's embarrassing. Okay. Wow. I promise you in 10 years, you won't even be thinking about that. Now, you have to wait 10 years. You do have to wait 10 years because for the next week and a half, it's going to hurt. You're going to be thinking about the fact that, oh, did they see that? Or what did they think when they saw it? Or do they like me anymore? Or it was like, why did everyone look at me like that? And all of that. You're going to have to think about all that. But in the grand scheme of things, which is really what I need to start telling myself more often, and you guys are going to be like, okay, well, why did you do this in this situation? Because I'm a human still. But I'm telling you know what? What is it? What's the saying? Do as I say, not as I do. Don't try to clock me. I'm telling you what to do. Okay? Thank you. But no, I have a really, 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 really big issue with that, and I need to go to therapy for it. I feel like I get anxious or anxiety or whatever. Like if you always think about like how when I'm with my mom or whatever and she does something that I wouldn't do, I'm always like, oh, like I cringe, right? And I think that also that's a product of social media as well. I think that older generations don't deal or experience that as frequently as somebody my age, right? Because we grew up looking at your mistakes being blasted tenfold. If you did something wrong and somebody filmed it or somebody put it on the internet and you have thousands of comments on it and people that you don't even know. And it's not that like every single thing that you do in your life is filmed and uploaded to which would be crazy if that was the case. It's not like that's happening, but I mean, sometimes it is. Things that used to be private are no longer private anymore. Things, maybe you did do something. Malik just showed me a video. Malik showed me a video of this boy that we don't know, of course. It was online. Malik showed me a video of this boy, and he was in school, and I guess he decided to be cute, and he sat on this table, and the table shattered. This is at school. I want you to think about this. You're at school, and you sit on the table, and immediately, when your cheek touched the tabletop, it shattered. I don't even know what I would do. I wouldn't even get up off the ground. And not only did that, are you embarrassed? By the 8 people who saw it, I saw it. He don't even know who I am. I'm talking about this man on a podcast. Like, like seriously, guys, I want you to think about this. Like, and that is ingrained in like at least Gen Z's mind of like everything you do is being watched, and not and there are some people who don't care. And I'm not saying this is the root of everybody's anxiety or whatever, but I think it does add a lot to it. We have been accustomed to, if you do something wrong or embarrassing, or if you don't look good or look perfect, or you don't look this way, and maybe it feeds into insecurities. It's like, I said this and that was weird, or maybe I didn't do this to my hair and they thought that it was ugly, or maybe I'm looking at this other person and they're perfect in my eyes, even though they're not really perfect in real life. I don't care who you pick, they're not perfect in real life, but you see them as perfect. So therefore, if you're not holding up to that standard, now you feel less than, and it's a whole circle. And I think that's the second portion of humility, of like, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not know everything. It's okay not to look beautiful all the time. You guys know I don't care about that second aspect. I be on here, I be having a little eye booger here and there. My nose might be a little crusty. I'm over here with a little bit of a lisp. I really don't care. I want to start caring a little bit more. I want to start caring a little bit more in the future, and maybe that'll come, right? And I'm often embarrassed a lot. Which is why, like, whenever I'm in a drive-through with my mom and we're recording, even when we're not recording, I'm always thinking about, what is she going to say? What is she going to do? And I wish I had not as much of confidence as she does to do the things she does. She doesn't need any of this. But I wish I had at least some of it, right? Like, I'll never forget that one time only because people commented about it. But one time we were in a drive-through, and I think they gave her, how they always give the drinks first. She put her straw in her drink, then gonna roll up the straw wrapper and hand it back to the person in the drive-thru. Why would she do that? Like, what? Put that in your cup holder. Like, and to me, that's what I would do. I would put it in my cup holder, and it's not that big of a deal. She gave it to him, whatever. They're probably like, oh, like, even if they thought like this was the weirdest thing that someone could ever have possibly done, and they still think about it to this day, okay? She handed you a straw wrapper, and you threw it away. Like, it's never that serious. But in the moment, for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. Like, why would she do that? Why would she say this? Blah, 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 blah. And it's not that serious. And I think it feeds into anxiety. And I think a lot of people, in my generation probably also think not something as simple as a straw wrapper. I know you guys are like, okay, you need to get this checked out. Not something as simple as a straw wrapper, but I'm meaning in general. Okay, you fell at the ice rink and your crush saw you. Okay, you sat on that table and people filmed it, and there's somebody on a podcast right now talking about you. Okay, you'll be okay. I promise you'll be fine. And that's easier said than done. But we need to be humble. We need to show humility. We need to also stop being embarrassed all the time. I'm mostly talking to myself, I guess, because I know I'm talking to somebody who could hear these words and it actually resonates with them. But I know some people are like, I don't have that issue, and that's fine. But this is we should call it something else. It's not jokes on us. This is wisdom on us, wise on us. I don't know what it is. Me saying wisdom, and I'm only 10 years old in life. What if I was 10? Anyways, this is what happens when you talk to yourself. You just go into a random thing. And I'm going, what if I was 10? What? Anyways, I'm going to end it here. That's all I have to say about it. But be humble. It's okay to be wrong. I've said it a million times in this video. I'm not going to say too much more. My conclusion is we could all use a little bit of humility. It is time for everybody. And I hope that the people who are listening to this video came out a different person. Think about times when you've been wrong. Go talk to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your siblings. Those are the same thing. Go talk to your friends. Go talk to your coworkers, somebody you had a discussion with before, and be like, you know what? About that situation, you know what? I was wrong about that. I do still feel this way about this thing, but this over here, you know, I didn't mean it that way, or upon second thought, you were right about that. And that's okay for someone else to be right. You know how much better it would be if you were wrong about some things and you said that? And then how much better you would feel if somebody who always seems to think that they're right said, you know what? You're right about that. To you. Like, let's say they said it to you, like, you know, you're right about that. That was my bad. We would be so much more better off, and we would actually get closer to finding the truth of things and realizing what things are facts and what things are not, and realizing what opinions we think that should be okay to have or not okay to have. And I'm sorry, there are opinions that you shouldn't have. I don't know what person in what generation made up the fact that all opinions are okay. They're not. Sorry, that could be a whole different video. But yeah, we will see you guys next time with another video. This has been Jokes on Us, but it's actually been wisdom on us. And I hope you got a little bit of wisdom from some graduate college age to, even though we're not grad students. I hope you got a little bit of wisdom from us in this moment in time, because that's what we need right now. Spread the wisdom. Wow. Should that be a segment called Spread the Wisdom? Let me know if you guys liked this podcast, or if you guys liked the serious topic. It doesn't always have to be funny. I know you guys are probably like, this is boring. Maybe you do. Maybe you didn't think it was boring. Let us know your thoughts about humility and what you thought about Malik and I's thoughts on humility. And we'll see you guys next time, next week. Even though we had difficulties, even though we had obstacles, even though we didn't want to do it, even though I got stuff to do today, even though Malik has stuff to do today, we still did a podcast hundreds of miles apart. When he didn't even know if his internet was going to be, in a situation where he could do this live. So we decided to do it not live and put it together. Let us know what you think in the comments below. See you guys next time. Peace out.